Today we're going to talk about spark plug wires, specifically NGK. Alright, so before we delve off into the NGK wires, I want to go over a couple of things really quick, won't take but a second, where we're at on this 99 Camry. If you've been around the channel for any length of time, you have seen the buildup of this vehicle. This vehicle had a blown up engine in it. When I bought it, we had an engine from a wrecked 96 that we took and put in this car, and took all of the 99 fuel injection, ignition system and all that stuff and put on this car in order to get it going. It all fairly well just bolted together, went fairly seamlessly, and has been fine for about the last 2 years. No real troubles. I had just replaced the timing set in the 96 motor, the oil seals, a couple other things. But what I neglected to do was I neglected one seal in the front of the oil pump. At the time, looked fine, was dry, thought it wasn't going to be any problem. Came back 2 years later to bite me in the rear end. Front oil pump seal was leaking on this vehicle, and I mean, it was leaking but good. I did not film any of that, didn't film any of that repair. This was one I just needed to get knocked out. And if you don't make videos for YouTube, you don't understand. Filming a video for YouTube will make your job repairing a vehicle 2 to 3 times longer. It's my daughter's car. She's going back and forth to college. Just had to get it done. So let's get in here and let's talk about these NGK wires. Everybody wants to talk about OEM and only OEM. That's fine for newer vehicles when you can still get them. I have not called the Toyota dealership to see if these spark plug wires are still available for this car, but there are good aftermarkets out there. I have used NGK for probably as long as I've been working on Japanese automobiles. NGK has been around, and I have always had good luck with this product. These wires here, it actually says on the packaging it is a product of the USA and Mexico, and when you look a little deeper, it says these are assembled in Mexico and they are made from Japanese components. And let's open them and I'll show you what I found. And I want to say, after having looked at these wires and looking at the wires that original Denso style wires, which Denso I think made the OEM wires for this vehicle, the NGKs are actually made better. The problem I had when I took this car apart was these Denso wires. There's a rubber boot on the end, an insulator that protects it from side arcing. The problem I had was when I pulled the wire up out of there, the rubber tip stayed down around the spark plug, down in the bottom of the tube, which means that you can't take the spark plug wire out until you get that rubber boot out. Well, on this Camry, there's a tube about this big around and about this long, and that's where the rubber plug is at the very bottom of that well. And you can't get anything down there. You can't. I tried compressed air, I tried grabbing it with a number of different tools, screwdrivers, and trying to get it out of there. It just was not coming out. So what I ended up doing in order to get the rubber out is you can take those screws on this Camry, the 5SFE, you can take and spin those tubes out, and then you're about this deep into the head, and you can reach down there with some needle nose pliers and pick the rubber pieces out. These rubber pieces appear to be made onto the end of the stem so that they cannot come off. So these are well-made wires. I'm gonna move in close to the camera. If you look right there, hopefully I'm catching that shot. The wire is stamped Japan. It actually has Japan stamped on the wire. One other feature of these wires, hopefully I'm catching that shot, is that they are all numbered. I know it's not real confusing on this 4-cylinder engine, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's still a nice feature once the wires start mingling and meandering together and you tend to get cross-eyed and want to know which wire you're dealing with. Well, it's labeled, so there's no confusion at all, none. One other thing, when you're installing new plug wires that you really need to have a tube of handy is dielectric grease. You'll want to put a little bit on the dab on the electrical connector in the boot and a little bit around the rubber on the boot. That way, if you have to take it apart again later for any reason, this stuff just slides apart, nothing binds, nothing sticks. So, one of the things that precipitated me going ahead and getting this repair done is my daughter called me on the way home. She was on her way home from school the other day and said her vehicle was not running right. It was bucking, as she said. It was a cylinder miss. Hooked my scanner up to it, code reader. It said it had a random cylinder misfire on cylinders 1 and 4. On this Camry, it shares coil packs with cylinder 1 and 4 and cylinders 2 and 3 on the other coil pack. Well, seeing as how this is from 1999 and is 24 years old, I can say that the coil pack is probably what has failed. So I also ordered and installed new coil packs. So now it's time for us to get in here and install these wires. One of the things I'll mention while I'm in here and that you need to hang on to and keep up with as much as possible is your wire separators and holders. It's just simple little plastic pieces that keep the wires spread apart from each other so that they don't rub and that they're isolated from one another. I kept all the ones that I could get my hands on that came with the vehicle and some that I've had laying around, just so that I can make sure that these wires are routed and doing what they're supposed to do. So we're going to go ahead and just carefully pull all these wires out. And we'll come to this side. That's simply just a matter of, it's got a little grab tab at the top, some little knurls on it so you can get a grip on it, pull straight up, it comes right off. Now, I'll bring the camera in here a little closer. I don't know that we're going to be able to see, but we'll try to get you a shot. How about that? You can see. How about I just take the camera and show you right there? Okay. This little tab right here, you lift, pull the wire off. I can actually show you right here on this coil. Since I have it already off, all you have to do to remove the plug wire, we'll plug it on there. Get it on there good until you hear it click. And that little bail drops down. When you need to get it off, you lift up on that tab, pick your finger under that tab and pull the wire off. And that part is sticking. I don't have dielectric grease on this yet, but we will be doing that really soon before we put it on for the reel on those coils down there. The wire's off down here. There we go. We'll go ahead and start getting them laid out. Go ahead and squeeze a little dielectric grease down in the hole and a little dab around the outer edge of the boot so it doesn't stick on anything. And then we'll do the same on this end. Well, your dielectric grease serves two purposes. It helps to prevent corrosion, and which in turn makes sure that you have a good, positive, solid contact. Push the wire down until you feel and hear it click onto the spark plug. Click. Two, three. Click. Oh, and we did replace the spark plugs while we were in here too. Coil packs are labeled on this one in the back. Is, like I said, 1, 4, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and shove 4 on where it goes. All right, and you got 3. This is the very back one. Lined up and get it going down where it's supposed to go. Two. Click. You heard that or not? Clicks on nicely. Click. Now, spark plug wire separators. Put them on. Hold things apart here. You want to kind of keep things, see how right here where it would be kind of coming over in the way of your throttle cable. That's the other reason why you want to have these on here. Pull everything kind of in a neat, nice little spot. Keep it away from other moving parts. Pulls it over nicely in the way. We got this one. And everybody twist it around here and where I'll make it happy with everything. And there we go. Just like that, 4 spark plug wires. About as easy as it gets on this Toyota Camry. Alright, so that's going to be the last piece of the puzzle for this engine misfire. A set of good, high quality, OEM styled NGK spark plug wires. Now, I got a lot of work to do. I got to get over here and do almost the same work I just did on this car on the 97 Corolla. It's got an oil leak too. So while I'm filming that and working on getting that car back to 100%, why don't you go out and watch another video coming on the screen right now?